I entered into Gaza, and this is what I witnessed, and this is what I saw firsthand. The destruction in Rafah on the drive-in was extensive, to say the least, but the extent of the destruction only reveals how intense the fighting was between Hamas and the IDF. I'm so tired of people acting like Israel isn't fighting against tens of thousands of terrorists daily who hide amongst the civilian population of Gaza. Rafah specifically was a Hamas stronghold throughout the entire conflict until Israel was able to subdue and control it. The leader of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, was hiding out in Rafah, and it was also the location where a multitude of Hamas terror tunnels were discovered. Inside a child's bedroom in Rafah, the IDF discovered one specific tunnel shaft which would lead them to the location where 6 Israeli hostages were being held and were brutally executed by Hamas on August 29, 2024. Hirsch, Eden, Carmel, Almog, Uri, and Alex were all held hostages by Hamas for 331 days. This is Rafah. This is where I was. And when I got to the distribution site, I was able to see the capabilities of the Gazan Humanitarian Foundation. The American contractors, in coordination with the IDF, have done a remarkable job at actually bringing aid into the hands of Gazans. They have also partnered with Samaritan's Purse to further provide aid and support to Gazan civilians who are in need. Now, in contrast to these efforts, last month alone, the UN admitted that 93.6% of their aid trucks were stolen by Hamas. And yet no criticism has fallen on the corrupt and failed efforts of the UN to distribute aid. Not to mention the truckloads of aid under the UN's responsibility that was left to expire or rot in the sun, thanks to their corrupted partnership with Hamas to allow this humanitarian crisis. GHF have done what the UN couldn't. They prevented Hamas from having complete control of aid going into the Gaza Strip. Since the beginning of the war, Hamas has profited over $1 billion from stolen aid, which they either sell or use to pay their journalists and their terrorists. What's most baffling to me is the criticism that GHF has received, despite the fact that they have successfully delivered over 140 million meals in 3 short months, despite the overwhelming challenges that they face every single day. Now, in order for this to happen, the IDF allows 10,000 plus males of fighting age to go behind their front lines. Now, this is unheard of from a military strategic point of view. Now, I watched 8 to 10,000 Gazans collect aid, completely unvetted. So more than likely, the people in the crowd that I was witnessing collecting aid could have been made up of Hamas fighters and supporters. Now tell me any other nation in the world besides Israel that is actively feeding its enemy. And let me explain something about this specific enemy known as Hamas. It uses its children in its war efforts. The site that I visited was also the location where Hamas threw a grenade at security personnel on July 5th. Now, leading up to this planned attack, I was told that children were actively throwing stones at the structure, and this was in an effort to get US contractors comfortable with objects coming at them from afar.
We had a grenade go off in here.
Oh, is this where the grenade went off?
Yeah, right.
Right. The grenade landed on the top of the roof or came?
No, they chucked it in. You see, if you look over there,
Yeah.
they crawled up in the blind spot that we had because there was so much, and then they literally just they popped their head over, chucked it in.
This is how Hamas operates. This is how Hamas uses its population to bring about its terror and chaos. Did the US contractors respond with deadly force after a grenade was launched at them? No, because there was a risk of harming the civilian population. Did they receive any thanks or credit from the international community? No, not at all. If you really care about the civilians of Gaza and you're not supporting the GHF and the IDF's coordinated efforts to bring humanitarian aid to the civilians of Gaza, then you don't care about the civilians of Gaza. What you actually care about is the radical ideology of Hamas to destroy the one and only Jewish state. You can't hide when I'm willing to show the world what's really happening in Gaza.